This is the FrameJazz iZone B1080PX series. This series of product is a step up from the Play, gives you a little more functionality. The main difference is if your customer wants to network the product, it does have an RJ45 connection on it. Once again, this unit will play back from CF card, thumb drive, or from an SD. I just wanted to go through a little bit of the product features with you today. This product has a more extensive menu system than most. Let me get in here. Basically, as you can see, once we're in this setup, you can go in and choose your networking type. You can choose whether or not you want the IP address to be automatically assigned at boot up via DHCP, or you can go in and assign your own static IP via these settings and just go in and type in your local IP, your mask, your gateway, and your DNS. The next feature is more of the networking setup. You can go in and set up this unit as an FTP server, and you can also do FTP download. FTP download is what we highly suggest for any customer that wants to have access remotely. So say they're a franchise of restaurants where they have 4 restaurants and they want to control it from one location at their home, they want to set up the FTP auto download. This way they can have the FTP server, which can be inexpensive laptop or desktop, at their house running any free software like FileZilla. And what that will do is allow them to set that up and have the units go in, find their folders, grab their content, update themselves during off hours, and they're back up and running the next day whenever they come in. You can also set up an NTP server, which is just for timing. That way, rather than use network time, you can use an atomic clock time. This sets up for your TV type. You can go in, choose your NTSC, which is what we're going to use here in the US at any point in time. Your active output, you can choose between HDMI, SD video, which is composite or S video out, VGA, or YPBPR. This is HD via the VGA out using an optional VGA to component cable. This will allow you to do anything from 480i to 1080i via the VGA as a YPBPR component output. You can go in, choose your auto EDID. This is probably the best setting because this will automatically send a signal via HDMI active output at this auto EDID setting. It will automatically detect via HDMI the highest capable output of the TV and output it at that setting. So say if you've got a TV that's 6-7 years old, only does 1080i or 720p, it will output at 1080i. If you have a newer television and you've got it plugged in that will allow you to do full 1080p, it will automatically output at full 1080p. On VGA, it will support up to 1366 by 768. All of the units will let you choose your on-screen display. All this does is turn the menu. Whenever you press play, it'll show play on the screen. If you don't want to see that, you just turn the on-screen display off. Autoplay, we suggest having it set to all files. That way you can actually go in, set everything to all files, and no matter what you put on the card, whether it be a JPEG still image or a video, it will play back. You can choose your slideshow interval time. This does everything from 10 seconds to 1 hour. You can lock the remote. That way if you've got the remote handy and don't want employees touching it or getting into it and disturbing, you can lock it out. Then you'll have to type in a password before the remote will actually start activating anything. Export setting, file setting. This allows you to set up one unit, export those files, go to the next unit, plug it in, and it's already set up. So if you've got this set up on your network, all you would have to do then is go in and change the IP address, or if you have it on DHCP, you won't even have to do that much. This way, if you've got multiple units and you've got 5 or 6 units, you don't have to go in and set up each unit individually. You'll be able to set up one, do it once, export those files onto a CF card, plug the CF card in, boot up the next one, and it will be set for all your settings that you just did on the first. You can actually have these auto power on and off. With auto power on and off, basically if they don't want these running 24/7 in their location, they can actually have it where they can have their TV set up the same way. So at say 2 o'clock at closing, if it's a bar or restaurant, that it literally shuts down at say 2:30 every morning, and then it will automatically come back on say 8 o'clock every morning when they're coming back in. That way none of the employees have to remember to go and turn on screens. Especially if these are used for menu situations, that's very helpful. Then in this last one is for the PX3 or 4. This is for our multi-layer display. This will allow you to do either a PNG still image on either side. If it's a 3, you'll be able to play your canned video either on the left or right of the screen from your CF card, or if you've got the PX4 with the HDMI input or the PX5 with the composite input, this will allow you to bring in your live feed plus have your advertising on screen. This will also allow you to go in and set up your scrolling text. So if you want to bring in an RSS feed or scrolling text along the bottom of the screen, you're able to do so with these units. One of the other things that we can do is, if you're familiar with XML or have a web designer who's familiar with XML, you can actually go in and say where you want each individual element and then have it play back over a background image or without a background image, however you want to set it up. It gives you a little more functionality, gives you a little more a few more options for your customers. That way they can go in and best utilize it for their needs. Once again, this is the iZone B1080PX series. We have everything from the PX2 to the PX6.